Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? Great to see you. Thank you for coming on in. Appreciate you so much. Yeah, we're going to talk about health and wellness and how we're going to make choices for ourselves, which is something I decided I'm starting. I'm not even waiting for the new year. I'm starting it in the last quarter of this year. And really, it's about making a choice. And many of us can do that, right? We can make choices, especially when it comes around our health and our wellness. I have, we've talked about losing weight or releasing weight and how to gain your life back, definitely. But for me, it's the 75 hard challenge that I've started, and I like it so far. Also been thinking about I've been thinking about the channel and what I've been doing with it. And starting this series of the 75 Hard Challenge. It is a challenge, all right, because I got to drink a gallon of water. This is just some water that's in this particular one, but I did pretty good today. I think I drank about six of these. So we did pretty good with them. Yeah. But why even choose to do a challenge that will definitely take what I do or take me to the next level? And I think mostly it's about the mental state. When we're feeling better, we'll look better and our thoughts will be better, right? So some of the things we're going to talk about, it's what happens to the body when you start to release weight. But the first question is, why even do it? And for me, many people will have their reasons of why they're choosing to take care of themselves. And what I love about this community here, you could learn so much about how do you, take better care of yourself, if it's to release weight, if it's to exercise, to move more, how to be innovative when it comes to that. Because some people say, oh, I can't do the aerobics and all those other things, or I don't have the expensive machine or machines. Well, one of the things that I found out to work really well is walking. So what do you do to keep your body moving? What do you do to make sure that you're in optimal health or doing the best that you can or you know how with what you have? And if you're able to, I find that walking is the thing that works for me. And not only that, it clears my mind. When I'm out there walking, I get to think big. I get to think, I'm very clear with with my thoughts. And so I love that. One of the things I found out that helped me with walking was dealing with the loss of my mom. A lot of that happens. How do you deal with that? How does that happen? Hi, Hector. Thank you for being here. And so, male and female, we've got to take care of ourselves. And it comes a time when you really need to do that. Homestead, hey, 907 where you are. Amazing. It's 807. I'm on Eastern time. So it's 10 o'clock, so you're 9. Oh my gosh. But I will tell you this, that when you start to take care of yourself, it makes a difference. Once you make a commitment to yourself, you make a commitment that you're going to take care of yourself. When was the last time you had a checkup? Some people tell you, I don't go to doctors. Well, if anything, you can and get your lab results. I'm not here giving medical advice. I'm not doing any of those things, but I'm talking from a personal point of view. And that's when we're here presenting on YouTube. Let's speak from a personal point of view. Personal point of view. If you have not had a checkup in about 6 months or a year, it's about that time. Because, and especially where you are in life, you want to know certain levels, right? You want to know your glucose level for people who may be prone to diabetes, whether it's type 1 or, well, type 1, definitely, you definitely need to have a primary provider. And type 2, some people are right on the cusp of that. And the type 2, that's where you can manage that with your diet and exercise and all of those things. And so I think for a lot of us, we have to really find out what's going on. And so that's why those results are important. Or A1C, within a 90-day period, it tells a story. So you can't go, well, I'm going to change myself the last 3 weeks and do that. You want to make sure that you are really truly taking care of yourself. And so for me, I always go by my annual checkups. Women, go to the OBGYN. Are we getting our pap smears? Are we getting the girls check if you're at that age and at that place? And so you may want to know those things. Men, years ago, we did colorectal and the prostate checkup for men in our community. And sometimes people will think it's so expensive. You may want to link with a local hospital or local clinic, because there's some nonprofit organizations where they've given grants to some of these hospitals where you can go for your checkup. So with your colorectal, your prostate, and all of those things, you want to get checked, and just to make sure you're monitoring certain things. Where I really believe everything is, they're saying 80% of that, it's in your refrigerator, your kitchen, your food. And so I started to say, well, being a nurse, and there's certain knowledge that I have, and for me, knowing myself and my wellness, I start to look at how active am I? And the thing that I can do easily, I can walk. So you have to look at, when you're going to tackle this, when you're going to look at your diet, when you're going to look at your activity, what is that thing that comes easiest to you? It's inexpensive. Many of us will have the gym membership. So I am one of those people. I have the gym membership. So I'm always there. I'm always like, oh, I'm paying for this, but I need to go and show up. But there were certain things that I started to look at and said, okay, I can walk. All right, that's what I can do. What do I have at home? I have a bike, and I also have a treadmill, and I have television where I can watch certain things on YouTube. So there are things certainly right at my disposal. But many of us would say, well, I'm not doing that. Why am I not doing this? Maybe it's because it's boring. I find out that one of the videos that I watch, I sometimes turn on some workout music or kickboxing music, so it's different from what I'm hearing on the television or my iPad. So sometimes you got to think of how you're going to perk that up, how you're going to make this different. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, because many of you will come back and you'll listen to the replay, and it's certainly fine, but I'm talking about your life. I'm talking about you are going to be the next 5, 10, 30 years from now, because we're not going to talk about it. Oh, we're going to go to the next thing, AI and all of that. But when you're able to take care of yourself, it's going to make a difference. Learning to eat, learning how to make sure that we're not having too much sugars. That's one of the things that now, getting a little bit older, I started to look at that. I don't want to be concerned, worried about, oh my God, I'm having so much sugar. So there's certain things that I decide to pull out of my diet, of how I'm choosing to eat. So the next thing I want to talk about, the 75 hard challenge. Oh my God, the 75 hard. I've heard people talk about it, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try it. My biggest challenge is this. A gallon of water. And that requires me to go through them a lot, but that's good. And I figured out how much these goes into a gallon. So you have to make a choice. Make a choice to take care of yourself. Like I said, some of you will listen to this, some of you will not. I've taken care of a lot of people who never listened to, they just chose to do things a little bit different. But I feel that how can I support somebody? How can I help someone else? I can talk about it. And I can help myself by listening to someone else. I can listen to somebody else talk about taking care of my health, but I have to make the choices, right? So I can walk, I can do the bike, I have the treadmill, and like I said, I can do a 30-minute. So I'll do a 30-minute workout. There's a particular one that I like. It's a stand-in workout, and then you can do some weights, and it's 30 minutes and it's really good and I really enjoy it, and it ends on the floor, and I've been doing that for years because I really, really love it. And when I do it, baby, it's the obliques, it works. And it's not too strenuous. I like that. The 75 hard, from what I'm understanding, okay, is 75 hard. Right now, I don't have an app, but I'm probably going to get into a community of other folks where we're going to be doing that even more so. So I do my workout 45 minutes twice a day. So 45 minutes I can walk indoors or outdoors. And so today I forced myself. I didn't really want to go outdoors because I did the bike. I have the Peloton app, and so I'm able from the Peloton app to choose some of the classes. So I did that, and then I forced myself. I said I was going to go to the gym. I was going to make some content, but then I'm like, you know what? Let me walk 45 minutes. And it was a little cool, and I was able to do that and felt great. With that, what I combined with it was intermittent fasting. I do that anyway. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to delve more into intermittent fasting, how I'm choosing to eat. And it seems as if I'm eating one meal a day, but it really doesn't bother me because if I eat, it's usually after 12, or it's after 12, and usually it's around 2 o'clock. But lately I sometimes can eat at 4. So if I eat 4, I'm going to have a good meal. Barry, walking exercise for your help. Hey, blessings. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Yes. Thank you for coming in. A few people walked in and they walked out. So Barry, I listen to you guys early mornings because you and Liz, you come on pretty early. I may not get all the time to chat. I think actually this morning I was on. So if it was that one person that was there at the, I know on. I know you have quite a few people that come through, but even Barry will tell you he is a content creator right here on YouTube. Check him out at Barry Walk and Exercise for Your Health. He's one of the individuals who got me back out there walking. And so I started walking last year. And even when it was cold, it just felt great to me. And it was so much clarity. I mean, it does a lot. Walking does a lot for your mental health. It really does. And I would just walk, and my walks were an hour, like 45 minutes, then an hour, then an hour 15, an hour 20, and they turned into 2-hour walks. So by the time back, when I do that entire walk, it's almost 2 hours. And I do over 15,000 steps from that walk alone. So, and what's that done for me? Oh, the clarity in my mind. The only thing when I say that you're going to walk, make sure that you have good shoes. For me, I sometimes have plantar fasciitis, so it flared up a little bit, and I had to get some types of shoes, sneakers to wear, and I did. But at one point, the plantar fasciitis flared up so badly that I had to walk every other day. At one point, I had to walk every 2 days. That's how much it flared up. But I really loved it, and it jump-started my wellness journey. So the intermittent fasting, that and anything, whenever you're going to do any such thing, of course, I always have to have a disclaimer that you definitely will check with your primary caregiver, whether it's a doctor, a nurse practitioner, whomever is your primary care provider. You do definitely want to chat with them. So I definitely had conversations with my doctor on how I wanted to care for myself. I was not ready to go on any of the GLP-1s. And she was like, you don't even really need it. She said, I just need you to get out there and move a little bit more, because I don't do, like I said, the spinning and all those classes that I used to, because when it started was with my feet. Definitely check with that. So the intermittent fasting, I will eat after 12, 1, 2 o'clock, and most of the time it's 2 o'clock. And sometimes I push it. If I'm doing a fasting, 6 to 6 p.m., a 3-day, 12-hour consecutive, 3 consecutive days, 12-hour fast. And I do have my water, and I have some tea with a little ginger. It doesn't bother me. I really don't feel hungry. So that's the thing about with intermittent fasting. You don't really feel hungry. You do need water to flush your system. There's also the 36-hour fast. That's if you want to jumpstart your body. And like I said, not medical advice. This is what I'm talking about, my experience. All right, that's my experience. 36 hours, and it tells you from blocks of hours what happens to your body within that time, included some form of ketosis, like it's a fat, your body, breaking it down and so forth. And so for me now, I said, you know what, I'm delving right back into that. Also, types of foods that we eat, and when you're looking at your plate, we have our proteins, and we have the protein, and we have the carbs, and we have our fats, and different things like that. And so how you eat, it's a big deal. Absolutely, how you eat, it's a big deal. And for me, I'll have a lovely, like, it will look like it's a lot of food, but if I'm eating once a day, I had some fish today. We baked the fish in the oven with some okra. What? We had some baked fish, and cabbage, the purple and the red and the white one, or whatever, or the green one, the cabbage. We had that. And that was good, guys. That was so good. But also, one of the things I fell in love with, I wish I had one here, was the little avocado. Avocados are super, they're super food, super food. It's good for you. It's really good. See, it's really good. So avocado, I like that. And that's a great way, believe it or not, how to break fast. May want to look that up. I have tea and some soups and stuff like that. But I really feel like, yeah, we really need to, because, we can learn anything that we want. We can learn anything that we want. But if we start to focus on how we take care of ourselves and the clarity that we get, you'll see all the foolishness. Barry Walker Exercise for You said, that's some healthy food, sis. Yeah, I had I had a large salad because I need my fiber. Yeah, I got to remember that, the fiber. So you want to have your fiber. And some people, we're eating breads and all of those things. The fiber is the good thing with leafy green vegetables, or even your broccoli, whatever you feel like having there. And definitely then you have the avocado. And once you have that, then you can go to the protein if you eat meats. And for me, it was the fish that we baked, a large fish. Just bake the large fish. Everything is now, but we baked that and cut up the okra and just put everything in the oven and just season it up with a little fish jerk seasoning, whatever you want to call it. Stuff some scallion and onions in it, and the thyme, I don't know what to call it here. We call it thyme. Put it in the oven, and you're good to go. And so some people will prep. In my house, nobody likes to eat after Tuesday. So even when we say we're prepping, I don't like eat no food past Tuesday. So they were, for my daughter, the chicken, and we have the quinoa, rice and peas. If you ever try that with the gungu peas, they call it pigeon peas here. I guess what it's called. And we make that. And so we have all the vegetables. And so today, I didn't want to eat too much of that. So I boiled some green bananas, and I had half of the banana because I don't want to get that spike. You have to look at that. So that's the thing. I am just using everything that I know. I don't know everything. Yes, I'm a nurse, but I don't know everything. And so the nutritionists and the other people that I follow and what I'm choosing to do with that type of food, because it's all down to the science of your body. It really is. And for me, that's what I did. And you're saying walk half hour after you eat. So that helps the body to digest and to burn, you know, burn off some of those calories effectively. And it's somebody will say, well, why would you start doing that now, Sharon? Is there something going on? No, I'm just choosing how I want to show up and how I'm choosing to take care of me. One of the things I really love to do, I really love to swim. I've been swimming since high school. Okay. I swim. Some of you, you know, you don't see some of my shorts now, but I used to have them up there. I love to swim, and I usually mostly love to swim in the Caribbean. Now, a few times in the pool, you know, my gym, they do have a pool, but boy, may I tell you, I'm still, oh gosh, I don't know about going into the pool. But I do love to swim. So I find things that I actually like. I used to have a trainer. And my trainer he trained bodybuilders, like women bodybuilders. Like he would really sculpt their bodies. He's very good at what he does, but to work with them, I think he gets bored after a while because he's so into the bodybuilding in my state, and his people have won. Like, I'm not a bodybuilder, but I've seen where he has a group, like he'll do a circuit. So I think maybe I'll go back to the circuit, because I had really great results working with a trainer. So some people may think about, do they need a trainer? And for me, I'm like, yeah, maybe you need one, you know, maybe online or offline. And so, especially with the carbs, I don't know about, you know, when it comes to our health and our wellness and making a choice or making choices for ourselves, we have to just choose that, well, am I going to have too many carbs? You know, you need some, but we just know that our body burns more when it has to break down the protein. So you do need protein. Now, does it have to be meat protein? Like I said, if you don't eat it, you'd have to find other things that you can supplement. Most people who are plant-based, they're pretty much up on what they need to do. Now, when it comes to the supplements, and I'm really talking about this, guys, because this is where I am right now. And when it comes to the supplements, we have to know what's good for our gut. They talk about gut health, right? And I have some of my gut health stuff that I take. And so that too, you'd have to, I can't tell anybody, you know, you take this, you know, acidophilus and this and that. I'm not telling anybody what to take. But when it comes to gut health, one has to be very clear on that, and to get as much information that could support you. One of the things too that has affected a lot of people is the inflammation. OMG, the inflammation. I remember summer before last when I went to Jamaica and I came back, and I don't know, I started to have a lot of pain. Like when I got up in the morning, one morning I got up and I could hardly stand up. I'm like, what's going on? When I was here, I had no issues. So I'm saying, what could have changed? I remembered around the time, so it wasn't anything in Jamaica, but everything hurts. My back hurts. I could hardly stand up. I'm like, what is this? Until one point, one morning, I got up and I could hardly move. It was like I was frozen in time. I'm like, what is this? This is not right. And then I went to my doctor, and of course, the vitamin D, as in David, was low. So you have to know, that's why when I first started talking, I spoke about getting your lab results, getting that from your doctor so you know what could be what I needed to correct. And the vitamin D, for me, with the K3, of course, and understanding why you do that, those things were important. And then my doctor was like, well, you know, if your vitamin D level is low, you know, it affects your hair, it affects how your mood, how you feel, and you could have this and that. And I was like, oh, it's such an important hormone it is, yeah? Yeah, it's so important. And so I said, you know what, Sharon, being a nurse, we're always telling people to take care of themselves, but we too have to take care of us. And that's why all of that, that's why all of that happened and why I'm at this space. So, yeah, for those of you who have listened up to this point, and I would ask you to drop me an apple, but I'm not. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Apple is great fiber, it's good food. One of the things that I did learn, and the best foods to eat are the ones where you don't have to read all that stuff. Like how many this, how many sugars, how many carbs, how many this. Just the natural stuff that God made. And so even when I think back about being a kid in Jamaica and being able to eat all the fruits in the world, being able just what God created, just being able to have what he divinely created for us, and oh, how he loves us. In order to have done that, man, I was a lucky kid. So, yeah, that's why now, if and when you can afford it, get those fresh fruits and vegetables and eat them. Stop laying them around. And sometimes, too, we're worrying about, oh, the sugar is in this and that. There's certain foods that you can eat and they're really good for your bodies. The apple with the fiber is amazing. The broccoli, I think broccoli also has, is it vitamin C that's in broccoli? Believe it or not, some of these foods have certain things that you never thought they would have. And so I encourage you, as I'm encouraging myself, because this may not be for everybody, but I'll be doing a series on it. The reason why, because it's my journey and I wanted to share it with a few people. There are a few people I know when I go on their page, they're out there walking or they've walked already. And so I love that. I'm taking care of me, a healthy person, all my other nurses out there. You can join me and all my healthcare wellness. Those of you in the healthcare field, definitely we got to take care of ourselves because the stress, whether you're at bedside or not, you just every day, just whatever it is that you do, you definitely are going to have to take that time. You only get one life. You only get one life, one body. And I want to continue to take care of that. So if it's that water that I have to drink, a gallon a day, I'll do as much as I can. I did pretty good. This is distilled water. I just wanted to show you the sample. This is what we put in the iron, the distilled water. And so for that, I think it's almost 6 to 7 of these. Yeah, that will give you the gallon. To give you a gallon is 3.78 liters. And these are 500 ml. So, yeah, one, 2, 3. That's, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. 1, 2. So I have to drink 6, almost 7 of these to add up to that because these are only 5 ml. 2 of these will give me a liter. So, yeah. So that's what I'm choosing to do. I'm choosing to show up for me. I'm choosing to take care of myself. It's a choice. It's a choice. And as long as you're able to do it, find somebody who can support you, a community. Like I said, I'm doing the 75 Hard, but it's my choice to take care of me. I just wanted to share that so when you see me doing that, you will know why. You can go back to some of my lives and you'll see on my bike. It's not, I was just there talking. I decided to do a live from there, but I just chose that I wanted to show up and take care of me. The simplest thing I can do is walk, make sure I have good shoes, and simple things. I could go on YouTube, exercise, and do different things so I'm not bored. I play amazing music. I'm very big on the intermittent fasting, and so I do that for me. And Also, how you eat and in what order it is very important. And again, make sure you're checking with your primary caregiver. All right, guys, I'm going to stop it here. I just wanted to share that with you so you know what's going on while you see me out there huffing and puffing. But I'm having an amazing time because it's great for the skin also. All right, everybody, until next time, let me know your thoughts. What have you been doing to take care of you? All right, take care. Bye-bye.